MITech TV, and today is September 9th. Now, I have joining us from way far away, Mele Astale, our man in Europe. And he's also my webmaster and my social media partner. And funny thing about social media, he's going to be talking about SEO today and how artificial intelligence is now playing a major role in that, and we're all still trying to figure out AI. I know I just signed up for a little mini AI course. He's been urging me to do so because I've been dragging my feet since it makes me nervous since I'm a writer. I don't want some machine writing. So, but with SEO and business, what the heck? So let's talk a little bit about that. I know you have I was looking briefly at a column that you just recently penned. So let's talk about that.
Uh, Mike, great to be on the show again. I'm glad we're able to use this 2024 year to talk regularly about a single topic or a category, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has been changing everything for the last 2 years, and it continues to evolve. Irrespective of what some negative people throw out there, it's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to improve, and it's going to continue to change our lives, especially in business. And so, in this particular case, let's focus strictly, instead of talking broadly like we did in previous shows, let's focus on the specific topic that is really coming down on everybody pretty quickly and across multiple areas. So when we talk about content, for example, like you just said, right? You don't want some machine to create an article for you. But the good news is that artificial intelligence is able to speed up the time it takes for us to put content together, whether it's text copy, whether it's an image. It really doesn't make a difference. It speeds that process up, which means it gives us more time to review what it came out with, make our necessary adjustments, and then use it as something that a human actually edited and approved, which is really where the process is going now. Let me go back in history just a little bit, because some of the things we're going to talk about today kind of have their foundation laid in 2013 when Google implemented the Hummingbird algorithm in August that year. That Hummingbird algorithm really changed a lot of different things, including what we're seeing today, because it really comes down to search now being managed and controlled by artificial intelligence, and how we as users are going to Google and what are we typing to search for. And that's changed a lot. And so where Hummingbird was, this is, and this is my version, not anybody else's version in the industry, but I'm going to call this Hummingbird version 2 because it really digs into that process quite a bit. So anyway, that's the kind of the core concept of what we're talking about today. Um, the the simplest tool that came out about a year ago, if anybody's familiar with Yoast, it's a search engine optimization plugin that's being used by WordPress websites. About a year ago-ish, maybe less, sometime in 2023, they came up with the version that included artificial intelligence. So Yoast with the AI tool is now able to help us find an improved title for a blog post or a page. It also is able to help us identify a meta tag, or I should say meta descriptions. And by using these tools, we're able to optimize our web pages much more effectively. Now, I'm not saying that you have to accept everything the AI tool comes back with. That's okay. But essentially what you're able to do, though, is speed the process up of trying to decide what is it that I should write. And so that was kind of the beginnings of how search engine optimization and AI became more formalized, I should say, in the marketplace about a year ago. Now let's fast forward to this year, and we're going to find that things have changed even more. So I talked about Google's Hummingbird algorithm from 2013. Well, in 2018, Google came out with something called BERT, B-E-R-T, bidirectional encoder representations from Transformers. Now that sounds really complicated, of course, but it was really the significant leap in search engine technology. Essentially, what it was doing is using natural language being that you're going to Google and you're typing in a search um, a whole sentence. Like you're saying, it's more like instead of you asking a question, you're really explaining what it is that you're trying to look for. And that's the difference whereas as we move forward here. And so natural language processing means that what is the context in which you are searching for something? What is the meaning? What are the nuances about your search query? Is it a question that you're looking for an answer for? Are you looking to get a better understanding of something? And so this idea of using a word, a key phrase, or a long tail keyword really is gone away now. Now we're moving on into full sentences where we're talking about intent. We're talking about what's the context of what it is that you want. And so what BERT is able to do is distinguish between the meanings of the word bank, and the word and how we want to use that word bank relative to the other words within your search query. So it's very interesting how this whole process is working, but that's kind of, this is like the next evolution as we move forward from 2013's Hummingbird algorithm. We go into Google BERT in 2018. And now as AI has really come to the forefront, starting in 2022, now we're moving into what's called generative artificial content optimization. I'm laughing because all these things are really long. What do you think about that, Mike?
That's quite a handle there. So we'll have to give it an acronym, otherwise people will never remember all that, right?
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, BERT was easy, BERT, but this next one is more like GAIO, and I don't know where to even put that one at this point.
Gallo or
But this is
something. Yeah.
yeah, Gaio. Um, so the scenario goes like this. Generative AI models, and mind you, that's where ChatGPT comes into play, or Gemini, and some of these other um, for lack of better words, artificial intelligence tools that we're using, or GPTs, and how they interact with search engines. So instead of just simply putting keywords in, now we're engaged in more complex natural language queries, right? So when you think about search engine optimization, now you need to rethink this. Say, I'm not just trying to optimize this page around a keyword, a key phrase, or a long tail keyword. I'm trying to optimize it around the intent of what the page means and who is going to be asking the question that I want to answer. So you got to rethink your your search engine optimization strategy. You're optimizing on answering a question based on an intent, based on the context of what it is that person is searching. So can you get your web pages into the search results based on that? That's the direction that we're going. Now, intent-based search engine optimization is not new. It goes back way back to Hummingbird. It goes back to 10 years ago. But now it's changing because now we're using artificial intelligence, which is based on large language models, to help understand what this person is searching and what it is that might be best suited to that search. And so this is where this idea of conversational intent, or conversational language, natural language, however you want to put that, comes into play. And this is where generative AI content optimization is kind of the next move as far as where we're going. Now, it's not going to be interesting for a website like yours, Mike, where you've got you've got everything inside of it,
Yeah.
inside of a publication.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
So,
be fun.
and you've been using AI every day for a long time. So
Yes, I have.
you kind of getting your arms around it. How does this change? How would you say, simplifying what you just said, how does this change search engine optimization when you plug the
Yes.
AI? It's just more intelligent or something, or what?
Well, it's about how you're going to go through the process of um, appearing in the search results and for what type of queries. I'm no longer going to use the word keyword, key phrase, or long tail keyword. I'm going to say, what do you want the web pages of your website to, what type of queries do you want that web page to show in the results for?
Ah,
And
so it'd be
so,
something along the lines of, hey, show me all the articles about SEO, AI, and then all that stuff would come
right.
up. Okay.
So for us as a marketing agency, we may have a web page that specifically answers that question.
Hmm.
Right? We would have to optimize around the idea that somebody's asking that question and how are we going to show up in that result. And so, first and foremost, you have to focus on the context of your web page,
Hmm.
which again, it's a whole nother world. Now you're rethinking that you're answering a user's question.
Hmm.
And where back 5, 10 years ago, the intent was kind of wrapped around Google's algorithms. Now we're saying it's wrapped around artificial intelligence, providing a response and understanding whether or not your web page is appropriate. Does it meet the context of which that query is about?
The other thing I've
You gotta,
discovered when
yeah,
I've experimented with AI, I do it for writing purposes, not SEO, is it's still learning in the sense of one time I asked it some questions, I forget exactly about what it was, and it came back with the reply, well, I've only been studying this since, and I'm only up to date till 2021, and this is beyond that date, and I can't answer that question for you. And I thought, whoa,
but that's
so
changing though too. I
yeah,
mean,
right.
they're moving forward. They're becoming more and more current, which I guess is the next thing to mention relative to AI and search engine optimization, which is you need to stay current so that your web page that you optimize around this context, around this intent, around the question that you're going to answer, you have to stay current because the AI models are constantly changing. Now, the question you're going to ask is, well, how do I stay current based on the speed at which all this happens? Well,
Mhm.
my suggestion is to use Google Search Console. Using Google Search Console, you'll be able to identify what type of keywords are people typing in, what is it that Google is ranking you for, what your ranking position is, and take a look if that's what you want. And that's would be the way to stay current. I mean, Google Search Console tells you how Google interprets your website, what type of searches it's presenting your web page or pages off for. Use that data to stay current and make the necessary adjustments to your web pages accordingly.
Huh.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, what we're essentially saying is that this is why you need AI to help you with your search engine optimization inside your website. So that Yoast piece, that Yoast plugin I was mentioning earlier, I mean, that is going to continue to become very important to help speed this process up.
Hmm. Now, do I have that plug-in in my website?
Yes, you sure do.
Okay, I
I
thought I
got
did,
I
but
got you up to speed here.
yes, I wasn't sure there. So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
and a crazy guy like Terry Bean with his TEDx conference, he's the next guest. That's why he's on my dashboard, so I know he's listening. How would a guy like Terry Bean use this?
I mean, I think Terry's got an interesting scenario because he's being a speaker, so he's speaking around a topic or a variety of topics or a category of topics during while he's talking. So the intent of of he's already answering questions. Let's put
Hmm.
it that way,
Okay.
right? So his content around that speech is already going to answer questions. It's going to have meaning, it has context. It's going to be focused on natural language by
Hmm.
default. There's just no other version of that.
Sure.
Where Terry would be able to use this makes sense. Where business, let's say B2B businesses are have a harder time They have to make their web pages focus on that concept. And that's what's going to change everything around as we move forward here in the upcoming year.